Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm working on a 2-page 6x8 layout for my New York album. And as you can see, I was in a library. This is the central location of the New York Public Library. And this is not a library where you can just go in and read books or look at magazines or whatever. It's a research library, and anything you want to look at, you have to request ahead of time. They bring it up out of the vaults, and then you go and you use it on site. And getting a tour in here is pretty hit or miss. I just happened to be there at the right time, and I thought, sure, if they have space, I'll go do it. Luckily they did, and so I was able to get the full experience, and it is absolutely stunning on the inside, so I'm glad I did it. And I have photos here. This one I decided to actually enlarge because it's not often I get to be in a library of that caliber. So I have that. And then I have one 4x6, and I actually have 3 photos here. So this will require a flip. All I need to do is fill this pocket. This card is not for this page, but it happens to be the back of what's on the other side. So I need to find something to fill there. And then this is the only thing I have picked out. I wanted to use the phrase, when in doubt, go to the library, from Hermione Granger. So since I need some background things done here, I think I will focus on those first. So I need paper over here to go behind this 5x7 photo, and then I need my pocket card. Now, I do have stuff that is library or book themed, so I'm going to pull those first, look through those things. If I don't find anything there, I will go to my general stash, but I'm really hoping I can find something that is about reading or that works with these colors, because I'd really like to keep to the theme. So I have pulled my bin here where I keep things that are related to books and reading, but in my New York specific container here, I have some other things, and I remember I put them in here because I fell in love with the stickers when I saw them. I'm hoping I can use them here. Look at these. These are stunning. I am loving everything by Pipsticks right now, but especially these. And I'm hoping these colors will go. They're a little bit different than what's in there, like the purple. Not sure about that. But the other colors, I think I can put something together. I just hope that they aren't too busy with the photos that I have. So here is a package of stuff that's all about books and reading. So I actually have some stamp sets in there. Pull this out here. There we go. I have 2 stamp sets. There's a card there. I've got some little ephemera pieces of things that I thought might work. Definitely not that one. I wasn't sitting on a couch, but just some fun things there. And then I have this acrylic piece that actually says reading, and the color kind of works because the light that's showing through the windows was a very light blue, so I might be able to get away with that. And then I have some other stickers in here. Now, I wouldn't use both these and the other ones I showed. It would probably be one or the other. Using both, I think, would be too wild. I love this. But then I also have these wood veneer. This one just says loved it. I could definitely use that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull that. Might be able to fit that in. And then I have this sheet of stickers. These are from Everyday Explorers, and normally it's mostly travel stuff, but they actually did one that was about reading, and I loved the color scheme. It's a little bit different, just like these, but maybe somehow that would work. But at least I have all that to start with. And then I also have some papers. So I have these. Now this, of course, screams library, and I love it, but that with these photos, even putting my large photo, where is it here? This one. Behind that, it's way too busy. I don't think that's going to work. So even though I love it, I don't think it's going to get used. What's on the other side? That doesn't really go either. Way too busy of a pattern. These are the other papers I have, just like the checkout dates, which I like. Some stars. Again, these are probably all too busy. Stars on this one as well. And then this is actually on the back of the packaging sheet. I'm not convinced that any of these papers will work, but I have them. Maybe this one, but even so, I don't feel like that quite goes. But I have them because you just never know what happens once you get started. All right, I have made a couple of decisions here. I've decided to switch the pockets around. The flip will go in this one. And that's just because for this bottom photo, I decided I wanted to use this wood veneer that says do not disturb. And I'm choosing that because this tour is actually one of the weirdest tours I've ever been on, simply because the entire tour is like 15 minutes and only about 3 to 5 minutes of that is actually in the Rose reading room. And that is because they are hardcore about not disturbing the people that are in there doing actual research. That's what this library is for. This is not fun and games. They don't treat it that way. They treat it as this is an academic place of research, and that needs to be the focus. So we were not allowed to speak. Once we were ushered in, we were told clearly, you get, 3 to 5 minutes, that's it. So you basically walk in, look around, take a couple pictures, get out. So I felt like this was very appropriate. And then I can also talk a little bit about that in my journaling. So I definitely need to find a card that has lines or space for journaling, because under here, I have 3 photos. I don't have room for another card, so it's not going to happen here. So I think what I may do to ensure that I can have that is look through just my regular stash of cards for something that has lines in a color that matches, and then maybe just do some of these on the bottom, or have just a flat background, no lines, and still use these. But I just need to make sure I have enough space left for writing, so I'll go with some of the smaller books. And while I like this, I don't feel like this really goes. I wish they had one that said researching. I'm a researcher. And that's what people were doing here. That would be perfect for me, but sadly, that's generally not what gets made. It's either, reading, relaxing, loving books, on my shelf, something like that. So I don't think this is going to get used either. I think I have found a card that's going to work. I have gone with this one. It says rooted in this moment, which I could take or leave that phrase, but I like the slightly pinkish corally color down here because that goes with some of the books that are on here. And I think I'm actually going to use this little piece of like fake washi looking thing that's on the card and take some of the books and pile them on top of it as if it were a shelf. And then I will do my journaling around it. All right, there's the card I put together. I did use that as a shelf, and I just picked different sizes, styles, and colors of books that I thought matched what I had pretty well, and did them so that they wouldn't all be even to look like a real shelf. And that part is done. And I think because I have that, it would look strange just to have that and then nothing else because of those bright colors. So I think on this side, I'm still going to use this. And then because I've used chipboard, I think I want to bring that element in and use this as well. And then probably put some more of these books down here along the bottom. It's just my shoulder. It's dead space anyway, really. I could do a couple down here in some way, and it would make it match a little bit better. To find a color of background paper that will match this, I have started with my 6x8 already cut pieces that either came this way or I had cut them to 6x8. So I'm going to go through all those first, see if there's anything that will work with what I've got going here. If not, then I will go into my regular paper, but I would love it if I could find something that's already pre-cut. Well, sadly, I found nothing in my pre-cut 6x8 papers that would work with this. Some of the colors were okay, but the patterns were way too wild. But I think I've come up with a solution. I went into my brown stash of just miscellaneous scraps, and I came up with this one. This is an old one from Paper Pizzazz, and it's called Brown Leather. I've had this for years. I'm sure it looks kind of beat up. It's a little wrinkled, but for this purpose, it will be fine. So I think I'm going to use that. And I had already cut it to this size apparently, which is awesome. Less work to do there. But I don't like just this. That's too dark. That's too much brown when I have other browns going. But because this is white, I need to bring in some white over here. I think I'm going to use this piece of vellum I have. This is another one from a set from Stampin' Up! That I have, and it looks like words in a book or even a newspaper column. So I'm thinking if I layer that over that brown, then you can't tell it looks like leather. It just looks brown. It's very muted. And then when I put this on, it makes those words jump out more. And I really like how those look next to each other. So I think I'm going with that. Okay, now I have all of that adhered and I love the way that looks. It's just subtle enough, which is awesome. So I have that, and then I think I am going to just layer these. I'm not exactly sure how, but, or maybe I should do this one up here, like that, over the top of the photo a little bit. This can be down here and then with the stickers. No, because then these are close to each other. Nope, I can't do that. But maybe I should do it the other way, like that. Maybe I should do that up top so they're opposite at a diagonal. This goes down here and then some books. Maybe that's the way to go. I have everything here put in the pockets, and you can see what I did at the bottom there. I stacked up those book stickers similarly to what I did here. So I have a shelf there, and then I use this to kind of create the image of a shelf, and I'm very happy with that, so that's cool. And then for up here, the final thing I have to do is the flip, and I have made that, and then I want to attach this photo on there, but I want some kind of a phrase down here, I think, and I want it to match something in the books. I don't really care which color it is, but I want it to match, and I'll probably just put a little staple in there, so that's why I haven't glued it down yet, because if I staple through both, it'll show on this side. I decided to go with kind of the pinky coral color. So I have it on there and I put my staple in, and now all I have to do is adhere it up top here. I do have adhesive on there already. Try to get it centered there. There we go. And then I should be able to just put it in the pocket and it's ready to go. There we go. And do I need a tab on it? Sometimes I will put a tab to indicate that it needs to be lifted. I'm not sure. For now, I think I'm going to leave it because I like the way it looks. I can always add that later. That's an easy process. But the rest of this I'm very satisfied with. So here's another one done for New York. Thanks for watching.